Hey everybody, welcome back. Kanan here, and this is my review for ROBOBEAT. And just before we get started, could I trouble you to hit that subscribe button? And away we go. Story. You play as Ace, the bounty hunter, and you're tasked with hunting down the wanted criminal Frazzer. The story is rather basic, but it serves to do what it needs to do, i.e. get you from here to there and give you a reason for doing so.
Gameplay.
ROBOBEAT is a roguelite rhythm shooter set in procedure-generated levels. The combat in ROBOBEAT is kind of unique, whereas you have to dual or single wield different weapons, and these can range from shotguns, handguns, and even table tennis bat and ball. The main aim of the combat is to time your shots with the actual beat of the music in the background. These can actually be interchanged with different cassettes that you pick up along your way, which means that you can tailor the rhythm to your actual gameplay style, i.e. fast or slow.
Nice.
The combat and shooting system kind of works on the polar opposite of what most other shooters work on. In other words, you have to think before you shoot. You have to slow almost yourself down to recognize and hear the beats and see them on the screen. Whereas obviously other shooters, your main task is to try and put as many bullets into them as you can. Now obviously hitting an enemy with a bullet does do a little bit of damage. It's when you actually hit those beats that you do increasingly more damage. ROBOBEAT is played in stages, working your way all the way up to Mr. Frazzer, and each of these stages have procedure generated levels within them. And this would be a really good thing if it wasn't for the fact that most of the procedure levels all look kind of similar. They are kind of bland and just doesn't have anything that really separates most of the levels from each other. Now this was a slight bit disappointing, but not as disappointing as the aiming system. Now the game does do all your usual things. There's a dash, there's a jump, left, right, blah blah blah. But the aiming was, well, for want of a word, a little bit floaty and really ruined things for me. I really found it difficult to aim on what I'm trying to aim onto, and this really put a down on the game and held me back quite some.
Graphics and sound.
ROBOBEAT for me has a distinctive look about it, and where it's kind of minimalistic, I think that's obviously done on purpose, and it looks decent for it. And to that point, it is kind of a bit disappointing that mostly all the different procedure generated levels are all pretty well the same with little bits of different variations. I have not as yet, because of the problems I have with the floaty controls, completed the game, but the actual enemies I have encountered so far have been pretty decent. There's flying ones and also land-based ones, and there's also barrels that can be shot to do extra damage. Sound-wise, it's ironically enough quite basic. The actual music itself's quite decent. I don't think it'll be anything that anyone will recognise. They're all kind of like made up music pieces, but I kind of expected that anyway. But the actual main sounds of like the guns and everything and the enemies, it's all kind of basic, and I suppose that may be done so that it doesn't overshadow the music in the background and stop you from sort of like counting or getting those beats right. The score. Believe it or not, I did enjoy ROBOBEAT to start with. It was a little bit different and it kind of like felt like they brought something new to the genre. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the control systems, as much as I did try playing around with them, to a point where it didn't feel floaty. And because of this, trying to aim whilst getting the beats in your head right felt really awkward and kind of not enjoyable to me. Couple this with the fact that the procedure generated levels kind of all looked a bit samey to me. ROBOBEAT for me will be getting a 6 out of 10. I believe it is a slightly above average game. It's just the fact that the problems drag it down too much. I also firmly believe that if the control system was tweaked a little bit more, where it wasn't feeling as floaty for me, I probably would have played a lot more of it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments and hit that subscribe button. See ya!